Happy Easter, friends! I just wanted to show you what I'm making for Easter dinner. It's a little untraditional, but anyway, I'm cooking from my freezer and my pantry. So this is what's for dinner. I'm making a butter salmon dish. It's got Parmesan cheese and cream, and I'll post the recipe. It's from All Recipes. And I'm having 8 people. So I don't know if this salmon will be enough. It's a pretty big piece, but I'm going to cut that up into chunks. And then the recipe doesn't call for this, but I'm going to add these jumbo shrimp to it. And it's got like a garlic parmesan kind of sauce to it. And then I found also in my freezer, I found these butternut squash and sage ravioli. So I'm making that with it. And I also found this eggplant parmesan ravioli, so I'll make those two things together. And then I have to see how much that makes because, like I said, we're having 8 people. If that doesn't make enough, then I'm going to also make these potato gnocchis that I bought the other day with it. So anyway, that's going to be what's for dinner, and I'll be back when I start cooking. And here's my kitchen assistant. Hi, buddy. Oh, they don't like the camera. Why don't dogs like cameras? I don't know what they think. But anyway, he's going to help me with my dinner, aren't you? You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. He's always with me in the kitchen, most of the time anyway. Okay, I'm getting ready to make my vegetables for my Easter dinner. And I have here a couple bundles of fresh asparagus. Cut up a couple big carrots. I'm going to put a few leeks in here that I had frozen. So I'm going to put some of those in, not too many, just for some flavor. And then I'm going to put some olive oil all over this. Because I'm going to be roasting these in a 350 oven for about at least 35 to 45 minutes, I would think. Now I'm going to put in my Brussels sprouts. Now these are frozen. So in they go. And I'm going to drizzle a little more olive oil in.
I'm reminding you.
Okay, that was Alexa reminding me to let my daughter's dog out. Anyway, so I have olive oil all over this. Now I have a little tiny bit of this Tastefully Simple bacon left, which is vegetarian. I looked on the back and there's nothing, no meat in it. So I'm going to put that, sprinkle that all over, and it'll give the vegetables a bacon flavor. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of this Grill Mates Smokehouse Maple on there. So we'll sprinkle some of that on. And then I'm just going to give this a good toss and bake it a little bit later. So those are the vegetables we're having today. Alrighty, I have my salmon in the pan, and I put the 2 tablespoons of oil in there. This is in a large skillet over medium-high heat. Heat oil, season salmon all over with salt and pepper. When oil is shimmering but not smoking, add the salmon skin side up. I did down. Oh well. And cook until deeply golden, about 6 minutes. Flip over and cook 2 more minutes and transfer to a plate. Okay, so I'm going to cook this, and I have a little bit more over here that I still need to cook, and when I put this pile in, I'm going to put the shrimp in too. So anyway, I'll be back when the salmon's cooked. So I decided to follow directions, and I turned it skin side up. So it's been cooking for about 4 minutes. I'm going to give it another minute or so, and then I'm going to flip it over. So I'll be back. Alright, I'm going to flip this over now. Let's see how it looks. Oh, that looks nice. And I'm going to cook the other side for, it says, 2 minutes more. Oh, that looks nice. And this is the frying pan that I seasoned on my other video, and it seems to be doing very nicely. So far, so good. Really difficult to do with one hand, but we'll carry on. Now this is the first time I've used this frying pan since I seasoned it, so it should get better every time I use it, but right now it's doing really well. Okay, I'm going to let that cook a couple more minutes, and then it says to transfer it to a plate, which I will do, and I'll put in the second batch. So this is the second batch of salmon. I already cooked it on the one side, and now I'm going to add the shrimp. I'm going to put just a little bit more oil in here. This is not a low-calorie dish at all, but I'm hoping it's good. My daughter's made this and she said it was delicious, and she's a great cook, so I thought it'd be a really good meal, and since I had the stuff and I could make it from my freezer, that's what I did. So anyway, now I'm cooking the shrimp. I just turned the salmon over, so that should be done in a minute, and I'm going to put that on the platter. And then it says, I hope I'm not making you seasick here, after I get this all cooked, I'm going to reduce the heat to medium and add the butter. And then I'm going to cook the garlic and add the tomatoes and the seasoning. So I'm just going to cook this now until it's done. And I won't bore you with having to watch it cook. It's like watching paint dry. So I'll be back. Garlic I'm going to be using. It says 3 cloves of garlic, but I'm making a double recipe of this. So I'm going to put in a tablespoon of garlic when the time comes. I'm still cooking the shrimp. I took the salmon out. It was done. So now I'm just waiting for the shrimp. Alright, the shrimp are nice and cooked. I'm going to take those out of the pan now, and then I'm going to add the butter and the garlic and let that cook. Okay, since I can never follow a recipe all the way, I'm going to deglaze this pan with a little white wine, because we want all those nice bits. So that's about, I would say a half a cup, not even, maybe a third of a cup. And I'm just going to deglaze the pan and let that cook down, and then I'm going to add my butter and my garlic. So we're going to give that a minute to cook down a little bit before I add my butter. Okay, I let that wine go down, and now I'm just cooking the garlic, and I'm going to turn this way down, and then it says to add the cream. Sorry about that. So before the garlic gets too brown, I'm going to add the cream. And it calls for half a cup, but I'm putting a cup in because, like I said, I'm making a double recipe. So it says to put the cream in, and then it calls for cherry tomatoes. Alright, I have here some chopped up tomatoes that I'm going to add. It calls for grape tomatoes, but I didn't have any. So I just cut up 3 tomatoes that I had. And it calls for fresh basil. I don't have any, so I'm just going to put in, probably I would say a couple teaspoons of basil, and same with the parsley, a couple teaspoons of parsley. And I'm going to add a little bit of this, because I have it, spinach and herb seasoning. It's from Tastefully Simple. I'm trying to use up my stuff. So we'll put in maybe a teaspoon of that. And I'm going to stir this up. And it says to let this simmer for a little bit. I'm going to add some spinach in here yet too. But I'm going to give the tomatoes a chance to cook up a little bit. So we'll do that. Looks good. Smells good. I hope it's good. Otherwise we'll be ordering out. So anyway, I'm going to let that cook a minute, and then I'm going to add the spinach. Alright, it's looking good. Now I'm going to add, it calls for a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Since I'm doing double, I'm adding more. So I'm going to add, about 1/3 cup, 1/2 cup. In case you haven't noticed, I am not a measure cook. I cook by taste. So I'm going to stir that in, let it cook for another minute. The tomatoes cook down. So I'm going to let that cook another minute. And then I'm going to add the spinach. And let that cook down a little bit. So I'll leave that cook a minute, and I'll be... Alright, I'm back. I'm going to add some spinach. And I'm going to add about 3 cups. Ooh, isn't that pretty? The sauce is very tasty. You may want to add some salt and pepper to it. I added a little bit of garlic salt, because I like things a little saltier, and I put some fresh ground pepper in there. So now I'm going to add the spinach. And spinach wilts down. I'm sure you know this, but for those of you that don't cook, spinach really wilts down a lot. So I'm going to add quite a bit. And then when you're done, you're going to add your fish back in. So I'll let that cook down, and then I'll be back. I'm sorry making you see. It is. I put the salmon and the shrimp in. The spinach is all wilted, and it is very, very good. Alright, well, I'm going to let this cook another couple minutes. This dish is done. Family's coming over in about an hour, so I have to get the veggies in the oven. And other than that, I'll be back when we plate it up. So here is Easter dinner all plated up. Here's the salmon, the veggies, the roasted veggies. Over here is the raviolis and the gnocchi. And did we like it? Did we like it, ladies?
Very good.
All right. Very good. Doggies liked it too.
It's a keeper.
Okay.
I didn't give any to that one.
All right. Thanks for watching. See you next time.